Hey guys, and thanks for tuning in to today's pickup. This order was a total of $74 at Austin Books and Comics, and we have some very cool stuff in store for you today. So, for this October issue, we have the very first annual 2025 Absolute Batman Universe comic, which this cover has been out for a while and it's been very controversial because of the white supremacy and I guess all the stuff that's been going on with current events. So, this isn't really anything new for Batman or comic books, but, I guess it kind of fits with what's going on with everything with the current administration. So people are kind of just talking about it. And this is also one of the first stories that we break away from Snyder. This is kind of a whole different type of writing group to say, going over pretty critical story arcs as far as the absolute Batman universe. This issue basically goes over Bruce deciding about his no kill policy because he goes a little too far out on this brawl and kind of has flashbacks with his father and meets this priest in a town outside of Gotham while he's going to get ammunition. And he gets tangled up with a white supremacy group and kind of goes on a brawl. As you can see, there's like some amazing, this two-page panel, but kind of going over just, his rage and violence in this universe and just kind of how he's different from all the other Batmans that we're used to. Um, but yeah, it's a great issue. The art is pretty insane. There are some amazing, single page sketches like this one, and they're just very pivotal in the story. And this is kind of him explaining that this is his way is the violent way. Flashing back to early on with how his dad is telling him how to influence the world. So it is a pretty powerful issue, and it's also the origin story and kind of like the first appearance of the Bat Truck. He kind of discovers it as he's wandering off and kind of rampages their whole little house where they're hiding with the tank and kind of runs them over and then lights it up into flames, as early seen in this amazing one pager. I mean, it's pretty nuts. So it's it's a cool issue. There's a lot going on here. um and then the father comes back, and we have flashbacks that kind of tie everything in with the picture of the father that we see earlier in the issue. And kind of Bruce seeing the blood on his hands and kind of falling short to what his father had taught him, because this is kind of where he builds his no kill rule is this issue. So it's a pretty powerful. I was kind of like, at first, is it going to just be a brawl, or is there going to be some cool morals behind it? And turns out there actually was. It's good stuff. I'd highly recommend it. If you're into the absolute Batman, yeah, it does read a little different, but it still hits pretty hard, and they're getting the point across. So yeah, some cool artwork, cool cover. If you do get a chance to get the variant, there is one with the truck, but the Bat Truck. And I think there was one other, but I just went ahead and just picked up this issue just to add it to the collection. I only have a couple annuals, the 1990 and of course the Alan Moore. Fantastic read by chance. If you get a chance to pick this up, I would really highly recommend it. It's one of my top favorite Batman stories, because for some of these they brought Alan Moore in. I think there's one from Superman that he did that was also really good. This issue, not so much. There's a lot of plots and a lot going on, but there's some cool early Batman year one type stuff going on in it, and some of his past in Asia, and very ninja and kung fu. I go over it in my other videos. Um, so yeah, we'll add those to the collection. Then moving on is to the 1 in 25 Absolute Batman number 8. I was lucky enough to pick this up. My shop still kind of had like a run of I think it was 7 through 9 is when I got into Absolute Batman. So this is the last one of two of the Mr. Freeze in the Absolute universe. And I didn't really know much about variant covers. I kind of just got back into comic books recently, and I keep seeing this at the shop, and they sell out, and they did a restock. So I went ahead and just picked it up. I've been eyeing it for so long. I posted on my social media so many times. When you get obsessed with a certain type of cover, it's like just go and buy it and stop thinking about it, because I really do like it. It's very nice artwork by Ramon Villalobos. Got the cool moon, DC all in. We got the Alfred, and I just love the coloring, the artwork. It's just all so perfect. And yeah, I think it's a cool companion to go with these two, and really good reads if you haven't checked out the Mr. Freeze and you've just read the trade paperback of the Zoo. I'd recommend getting into these because it kind of leads you into the Bane story arc. But yeah, there you have it. 1 in 25 Absolute Batman number 8 variant cover with the cardstock. So moving on to the next one. Final issue is one of my favorites. I had to pick it up. It was $50. When you see these kind of things, you got to jump on it. And they had a handful of them, but this one was by far my favorite. I think if I were to do like two, like a Batman and a Catwoman, I would have gone with a little different of the sketches. But yeah, I think just having one by itself, this was by far my favorite. Signed and remarked by Joe. It's in very nice condition, as you can see. And it has their seal, Awesome Books and Comments seal of approval. We'll do a close up here on the artwork. It looks like it's white, blue, and a little bit of black. So yeah, and then the signature is in silver, of course. But as a kid who grew up in '89, and this was like the coolest thing when you were little, seeing this series really kind of did something for me, because we never got the Two-Face in the Tim Burton universe, which I was very disappointed in, because I did want to see that happen in that universe. And so far I only have 2 and 3, so now I have at least the first half. And it's been tough collecting these. These are about like $6 or $7 a piece if you can even find them. But these we got in Austin Books and Comics for $2 a piece, so $4 total. Yeah, it doesn't get any better. They're a little rough in some areas, but yeah, still happy to have these and add them to the collection. And if anything, it's signed and remarked, so it's just something really special. I usually don't spend this amount of money on like comics. It's like $50 or whatever. I try not to, but it being signed and all, and me just being a big fan of the series, I just had to do it. But if I really had it in me, I probably would have gotten 2 or 3 out of the 4 that they had. Maybe I think it was 5, and maybe someone already picked through it already. So it's hard to say. And when they do stuff like this, like I don't go to Comic Cons or anything like that, and you're gonna spend way more, just trying to get your stuff signed and going to the event with parking and all that stuff. So like $50 to me isn't. It seems like a pretty good deal. I don't know. I feel like these will easily go for like $100, $80. I don't know, depending. I know series isn't like too popular, or maybe hasn't really caught on, or people know about it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked to add it to the collection. And that pretty much wraps up this whole episode of today's pickup. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe and comment below if there's any recommendations I should check out for my next pickup. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Keep stacking.